First day back to work, and was supposed to get up at 5. It is now 6:36, and just kind of slowly accepting the fact that I'm better off getting like my normal sleep schedule. So like whatever, go to bed at whatever time, and then just getting up at 6. So last night I went to bed around like 10:30, which was solid. Just accept, like, all right, these are the hours in which I will get up and I'll sleep, and just stick to that, and don't try to be overly ambitious about it. It's better to just have the consistency than trying to squeeze in an extra hour here or there. Joe-san. Say Joe-san, Oliver. Joe-san.
Yeah, and that's Mama. Mama. Yeah.
Maybe she can give him a call and about the medication.
August 12th, 2019, first day back to work after the holiday, and I just dropped off Oliver back to daycare, and today it's going to be a lot of work on the emails and setting up the journeys for Reforge. We're still in the middle of our application process, and so we have maybe like 6 or 7 different emails that are going out from the Reforge list, and I have an email going out from Andrew Chen's list, and I need to write all those emails, set everything up, and make sure they're all checked and good to go for tomorrow. In terms of application goal, the goal is to hit 5,000 applications, and we are tracking last year we hit 4,700, and we're tracking 300 emails above where we were last season. So we're on target, literally just on target, which is good. It'd be nice to have a little bit more wiggle room, but 5,000 is pretty solid. What else is going on? I wanted to talk about a few of the takeaways from the holiday, and kind of things that I learned and things that I want to improve on. So a couple things off the top of my head. The first thing is, man, it's really good to have structure on the holiday. And the way I like to do this, to have a little bit of structure but not too much, is generally to have one thing planned for the morning and one thing planned for the afternoon. And I think this is especially true with Oliver. We really need to manage his naps and his eating schedule, and so having one thing in the morning before his first nap and having something in the afternoon after his second or even his first nap is just the right balance of having something structured and not being too structured. When we don't have the structure, it just feels like we are just sitting around on our phones not doing anything, and just feels like a waste of a time. And even the structure doesn't need to be anything major, like we don't need to go anywhere. It's just a plan of action so that we are all focused on doing something. So that might be just going to the beach in the morning and then coming back knowing that Oliver's gonna have to go down for his nap. We'll all have lunch then, and then in the afternoon we may plan to go to this one ice cream place that we wanted to go to, or go to the amusement park, something like that. So these activities don't need to be super planned out or complex, but we should have a definitive plan of we are going to do X. The second thing that I realized from the holiday was having something planned for the nighttime after Oliver's in bed, because at that point we will definitely just sit on our phones and not really do anything and not spend any time with one another. And so having activities like beer pong or flip cup or playing Monopoly, that really went a long way for bonding time and feeling like a sense of we are making the most out of this holiday. What else? Something that I just realized this morning was I did a pretty good job of setting everything up when I was out of office from Reforge, but what I didn't do a good job of was setting up the fact that I was out of office for my own work. Specifically right now is just the connection, and there's only one person who's helping me out on this project, but as I develop my brand and have more distribution other than the newsletter. For example, next year I'll have I'll be blogging at least once a week and trying to do more content. So having that schedule and communicating that I'll be out is going to be more important, because I think I'll probably have more people working with me on this, or at least we'll be working more consistently on this. And so communicating that I'll be out of office is going to be more crucial. Another takeaway is that if I'm going to be on holiday, then I should just communicate that up front and take the time off completely. And so I think that's what I'm going to do for the summer and for the winter. I think for the few weeks, whenever we plan our holidays, preferably in August, because it's generally a slower time anyway, just take 2-3 weeks off on that kind of work. And same thing for December, probably do a week's worth of work for the first week of December, and then after that just take it off. Like, yeah, I could make it work and I could get it all done, but that time should be spent on family, that time should be spent on recuperating and just enjoying the time. And I think carving out the schedule so that I'm able to do that without having to worry about things is better, right? Sort of like the mantra I kind of work off with: you can be disappointed, but just don't be surprised. I think that's really important here. I don't need to keep the schedule of every single week. It's better to communicate what the expectations are. What should not happen is it's a surprise to anyone that I'm out of office and that I am not able to do these things. It just means that I'm not being communicative enough, and so that's something I need to work on. Another takeaway from the holiday is we had both our parents, both Amy and I's parents, come out for the few days, and it was really good. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad that they got to spend a lot of time with Oliver. However, it is a lot of personalities to manage. Just everyone's just different, you know. Not saying anything against anyone, but people have different expectations. People have different personalities, and it's a lot to kind of juggle and make sure everyone's happy and checking in with everyone. So that's definitely difficult. We're glad we did it. I think it might be better just to have like one set of grandparents and then another set of grandparents, or if there is like this mingling or this shared time, do it in a way so that, I don't know, we're able to manage it better. Maybe that's with a bigger house, or maybe that's like planning different activities with other people. I'm not really sure what the answer is, but that's definitely something that we noticed and something we want to adjust for next time. Okay, gotta head inside, eat real quick, head to Starbucks, and then get to work. Headed to Starbucks now, trying to get there before 9 o'clock so I can get in a good 3.5 hours of work before I have to head back and do a workout. I think it's important after a holiday to try to get back into a normal schedule as fast as possible, specifically when it comes to work. I think that I would have a tendency to clear everything out of my calendar until I get 100% back at work and feel comfortable with how everything is going. But I think at this stage in my life, I've kind of realized that's not the ideal situation. Ideally, I can go back and get back right into training, go right back into working out, everything basically normal. And I think, you know, the reason why this has changed, there are a lot of reasons why this has changed. Some of them just, you know, kind of the life stage that I'm at, the freedom, financial freedom that I have, or I can afford basically to be able to do that versus just going back and just focusing on work. And what really kind of hit me was the fact that you need to be doing physical training, you need to be working on your side projects, whatever it is. Like, every day counts, every day matters. And if you are giving up that time for work each time that you take a small break, like, you're just losing days, and those days really add up over the year, and over the course of years they continue to compound. And so you want to get back into those routines that are important to maintain to build your brand or to build a side business or to maintain your health, to maintain your fitness level, all those things. I mean, that's super important. And so I really wanted to try to keep that in mind this the post holiday this year. And so today I'm trying to keep it as normal of a schedule as possible. That means I plan to work out at 1 o'clock just like I normally do. I plan to go to jiu-jitsu at 7 o'clock like I would normally do on a Monday. And I want to do this even in the face of the fact that we have a lot of those email sends going out tomorrow. And I think what it means is that really prioritizing my time. Sleep is still a priority, like I had said before, so getting that 7-8 hours would be essential, especially after being off that kind of schedule for a while. But also putting those things in the calendar and then moving things around that. So I know those emails need to get done, and I think what I will give up in order to make sure they get done is moving around meetings, canceling things that are inessential so that I can sit down and focus on the emails. Like I said before, taking a break from the Connection newsletter, like that's something that I should have planned out better, but I will do this time just because I need the time to work on the emails and I don't want to give up fitness or sleep or jiu-jitsu for that. So yeah, getting back into a regular schedule as fast as possible, not trading off work for my health and fitness as I would have had the tendency to do before. I think those are really important and a muscle that I want to continue to train as I get older and as things like family time and things like that become more important than work, or at least I need to do a very good job of juggling both. Left the cable and the stand for my external monitor at home. Why do bad things happen to good people? Just forge on without it. Headed back from Starbucks because I forgot my cables and stand for my external monitor. So I need to get back and do everything back at home, which will probably be easier for these journals or for these journeys when I'm trying to send out another 150,000 emails. Just a little bit nicer when you have 3 screens instead of 2. Makes everything much easier. So that's what I'm doing now. Thinking about the communication and being more communicative with people on the team. I feel like I have a tendency to just put down my head and get done the work that I need to do, forgetting that it's really a team effort, and so constantly communicating to people is crucial, and trying to make that a better habit. So when I get back, make sure I check in with Brian and with Dan about how application process is going, see if there's anything they need to update me on. I've already checked in with Akiva, letting him know that emails will be coming to him for him to quickly sanity check, and checked in with Michael, asked him for a design, something that should be pretty simple and that he can put together quickly. But again, just putting it out there sooner rather than later so that people are not surprised with last minute requests. I really want to cut down on that. So just something I was thinking about while I was working there, and remembering that as you're part of a team and as a team gets bigger, you need to do a better job of constantly keeping people in the loop and letting them know where you are, even though you just want to be heads down and working on something. The alumni email sends that we need to get out for tomorrow are a little bit more complicated than I thought, because I can't do a segmentation based on their funnel state within Autopilot, which means I need to create actual lists and basically do all the manual work of segmentation in Excel and then export that list and import it into Autopilot. So the whole thing is going to take a little bit longer than I want. So I'm going to squeeze in a workout right now, and it's looking tricky if I'm going to be able to squeeze in jiu-jitsu this evening, but we'll do my best. And email sends won't be going out till tomorrow at noon my time, so there's actually loads of time to get it done, but ideally it'd be all set up by the end of the day today. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and gonna get in a quick lift and then get back to work. All right. What was your very first job, and how old were you? I think I'm first up. My first job was I was working at my uncle's restaurant, packing takeout orders and training to be a waiter. I hated it. I had to speak Cantonese to basically everyone in the back of house, and my Cantonese is very bad. So I did that for a year, and then I spent the next 8 years working as a waiter there, and I was 14 when I first started. That's my first job. Okay, so update, just got back from holiday, so today was really just spent catching up. Thank you to everyone who was helping out with the application process. Looks like everything went smooth. Just couple hiccups that people had pinged me on throughout the week. So looking into all those and getting ready for our next send, which is tomorrow. So spending some time crafting those emails, setting up those journeys, and just one of the journeys is a little bit tricky. We're sending out to alumni, and we segment based on what program they've taken before. So people who took, let's say, AGS and Growth Series, they get a slightly different email than someone who just took Growth Series. So working on that right now. And that's me.
Nice.
Okay, first time trying Freshly. Quick thoughts, quick hit.
It's really good.
The meat was actually surprisingly tender.
Really good. Yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting the meat to be so nice, especially after it was microwaved.
What are your thoughts on the portion size?
Good, I think. I mean, obviously I've just started eating it, so I don't know if I'll be full yet, but I think it's real.
It seems a little bit smaller than Healing Meals, right?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely smaller than here.
I'm glad we have extra potatoes on the side. But tasty
It's very tasty.
so far.
Yeah. And obviously a lot less work than,
Actually making a meal for ourselves.
yes, what was that?
And
again?
Blue Apron.
Fresh direct? Oh yeah, Blue Apron.
And Oliver is enjoying playing with his mashed potatoes. And Deefer's enjoying eating what Oliver's playing with. Do you think they're under here? You want to check?
Whoa!
Surprise! They're all his friends.
Okay, say goodnight to Dad. Say bye. Bye.
Oliver.
What do you say? Bye.
Bye, Oliver.
Bye. Bye.
I spent all this time today talking about how I want to stick to the schedule and go back to everything normal even when I come back from holiday, and was unable to do so. Didn't get out to jiu-jitsu class, although I did get a workout in, so that is solid. But just ran over on a few calls, and then have to still put together these FAQ emails that are going out tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and don't have everything set up, so need to get that done tonight. But that's how things go. Glad I got the workout in. Just didn't get a chance to go to jiu-jitsu, and said had dinner with the fam, put Oliver to bed, walking Deef, did the garbage. Brian and I had our one-on-one today, and we talked about something interesting, so I just wanted to kind of share and get my thoughts down. We talked about the fact that we were doing so much hiring, and my question was if there's any concern about overexposure from limiting our runway, our burn rate, now that we've hired so many people. So we've basically tripled our team, and just the question is, are we going to be in danger of running out of cash? And obviously Brian knows what he's doing, so he had a framework for how to think about it, and my question was, what was the framework? And the framework that came down from his conversations with the board was to have 9 months of cash saved, cash in the bank, so that if we did not earn a cent for 9 months, we would still be able to cover all expenses. And the way they reached the 9 months, like, it wasn't an arbitrary number. I think this was the most interesting thing. It's not like, oh, they straddled the fence between 6 months and 12 months. It was that 9 months would be enough time to get a series or a series and a half, possibly 2, done and in the books, so that we could collect more revenue if we needed to. And so that's how they came up with that 9 months figure. And they want to maintain that guardrail at all times. And so that is just one framework of looking at it. Another framework would be to use profitability as a guardrail. So you want to maintain X amount of profit every single month. And the reason why they didn't use that as a guardrail is because they feel like the best way for everyone to get something out of their investment is to continue to grow. So they're focused on growth and not on profitability. Anyways, I thought that was a really interesting way of looking at it, and was glad that I asked that question. Still plugging away at setting up these journeys. It's probably gonna be another hour or so, but coming along. I have to create this video though, so I'm gonna cut the video now, and that's it. See you tomorrow.